So I'm just doing quick gestures with charcoal. I like how the charcoal reacts with water, and so I can do a lot of fun things with it. So that's how I get my usual session started. So this is Yupo paper, and it has no tooth, so it's the opposite of it reacts differently than the arches, which is the paper I was just using before. And you know, the surface is real volatile because there's no tooth, so the charcoal can get even more more reactive with the water than it did on the arches paper. And the other thing is sometimes it's so volatile that you can lose what you did by accidentally wiping your hand across or a brush or something and removing something that you really wanted. So got to be careful with this paper. So a lot more control with the brush. That's why sometimes when I'm working with a line, I want to stay within the line. And this one I will not stay, I'll pour and sacrifice control. I started working on what I call the Home on the Range series. It was just looking up some images online, and I came across this card from the 1800s that said, "Welcome to Montana," and it was a hunter standing over a buffalo carcass, and I just liked something about the shape of it really drew my eye, and this is kind of a grade version of the subject. And you know, I was branching off from the naturalistic colors, which you'll probably see more of in future ones. This one I'm still working on, but as you can see, this is kind of almost based off of working from cave paintings. I've been drawn to that, and I like how they look, and they're, you know, I don't want to say primitive, but they're not natural, you know, they're not completely realistic. With the air quotes. Mm-hmm. And so I like that, and I just like the treatment and how they look. So I have some of that less developed, and then I have more developed, you know, working across the page. So I try to vary that, and then I got some washes up here, so I'm still kind of messing with those. And then, you know, I wanted to do some verticals with the subject. And then this one, instead of, you know, perspective, the pieces in the foreground are closer to you, and they drift back in illusional space, which most of these are set up like. This one I did the reverse, where these are supposed to be farther away, but they're actually bigger and they're more worked, whereas these look like they're farther back because they're smaller. So I did just kind of a reverse of the space, and it's one of my favorite ones. Mm-hmm. And then the next one I call White Flood, where I'm just like bringing the sky into the landscape. It's there's some line work that you can see. It's a mixed media that's graphite and maybe some charcoal pencil, and then there's the white is latex paint. The colors are mostly acrylics, so I like to mix my media a lot. I was working on this painting in the studio, and I actually finished it. Kind of the finishing touches were these drawn marks, and I just wanted to get a real thin line and a continuous line, and I like drawing, and I just felt this painting needed some drawing. So these are pigment sticks, and they're oil based. So my paintings, latex and acrylics. There was probably top charcoal and pastel on there at one time, but it got painted over. But this pigment stick that's these lines here, and I was just working on the, I was in the painting zone, and I was just making my marks, and it really kind of capped the painting off. And I feel like I did some of my best drawing on this because I wasn't drawing a figure, I wasn't drawing a landscape, I was just drawing, and it's some of the freest marks I've ever made.